Welcome back. We are here again with Dana Popa, psychotherapist. Welcome back, Dana.
Hello, nice to be here again.
We just had a really big laugh before.
Yes, it's true. I'm still laughing, so I have to be very serious now.
Yeah, don't be so serious because our subject today is bullying.
It's about bullying. Yeah, we were talking about bullying in the personal life.
Yes. We talked in the previous episode about bullying. It's everywhere and happens at the lowest level and the highest level, and also in between parents and children.
Yes,
We are still laughing because of the discussion.
Yes, it can be very, very subtle. What we talked last time.
Yeah.
And this is what was happening to us today.
Exactly. And you just realize what happened after it happens.
Yes.
That's the subtitle part of it. We are back to speak about parts of bullying and how exactly bullying happening. So in today's episode, you are going to learn about bully, victim, and stand-byers. And we are going to go deep and see what exactly is who, and what are their roles and what they do exactly. So Dana, please tell us, you as psychotherapist, how do you see bullying from a professional point of view? Like, who is the bully, the victim, and the stand-byers, and what they do, and why they are bullied victims and stand-byers? Why exactly they're named like that?
Well, obviously, the person who are bullying, who are actually are abusive, and they are time after time abusing someone. It can be, as I told you, verbally, physically, emotionally. They are using their power to push the boundaries of another person. Actually, you are pushing
Yes.
the boundaries until you have the power over another person. And this can be in a very subtle way, can happen, or very direct way.
Yes.
Very direct way, we know, I think all of us, someone can tell you time after time, you are stupid, you are fat, you are ugly, you are dumb, or is pushing you every time, someone who pushes, or more aggressive, someone who can hit you in order
or break your stuff.
Or break your stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also can punish you. Punishment can be also a form of bullying.
Yes. And socially bullying.
Socially bullying. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. To
so many
isolate you. Yes, isolate you. Time after time from the others is also a form of abuse.
Yeah, spreading rumors, cyber bullying, and all kind of
spreading
bullying.
Rumors.
So
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And spreading rumors of being mean or showing mean gestures and disrespectful gestures. And also, it's really common among girls to have inappropriate sexual comments. It's everywhere, in every form. So someone who
I don't know if it's more among girls, but verbally, in a way, at some age, girls are more powerful verbally because they are more verbal than boys, especially in when teenagers, adolescents life. Then girls are much further with their verbal development, so they are more powerful in at that age. So but later can be also men because they are they are increasing their verbal capacity over time, so they can be the ones who can bully verbally. And
yeah, so you can see it's common to see among children, you will see more physical bullying, and then among teenagers, girls will be more bullying verbally and boys more physically. And then
it can be also verbally. Yeah. It can be both. Yeah,
you can see the bullying growing with the age, basically.
There is in another form, it can be, it's different form, but bullying, I mean, harassing someone and abusing someone, it's hurtful anyway, no matter the age.
Exactly. There is no excuse for bullying.
There is no excuse, and there is no proper age for being bullied.
Yes, or for bullying. Or being accepted that, she is or he is small. No, bullying is bullying, and we should teach our children since they are small what is bullying exactly. So there it's the bully is someone who misuse the power over
Yes.
someone else, and then the other person is the victim.
The other person is the victim, indeed. Yeah.
And what is specific about the victim? How do we know, or how are they picked up?
Most of the time they are picked up because they don't react perhaps in the first part, or they are more shy. People are more shy, or they are picked up because they have these specific things what we think it's bad, like someone is disabled, with disabilities. We can pick it up like, wow, that's something wrong. Or someone who is different dressed, the people coming from another religion, for example, they can be picked up because they are dressed differently. People who are more shy or emotional, not that upfronted. Sometimes you can see also gender attack. The women can be sometimes much easily attacked than men, or the gay can be, the homosexuals can be more attacked than heterosexuals.
So basically, everyone who is different in a way has the potential to be a victim.
Yes. Or
And
actually, if you look in psychological perspective, someone who we say someone who is putting you, a mirror, you're mirroring yourself in the other one, and it's your own pain, what you see there, or your own void, that you will pick up. Actually, yes.
Yeah, and that it's when I listen to that, thinking that I was bullied my entire life in different levels, and even as adult, and I'm learning now to stand up for myself, and it's healing and releasing so much pain and tension. But when I see that every time when I was bullied, it was knowing their back end story. It was my pain in their pain that they couldn't deal with, so they got aggressive. So yeah, it's interesting to stay outside and look at it, but also as a victim it's painful.
Yeah.
And then we have another group who are the bystanders.
Yeah.
And here it's interesting. I mean, tell us about that. Because with bystanders, I never could understand, being a person who fight for justice with my life if I have to. That's a really gray area for me. So explain us from a professional point of view why bystanders do nothing, or are they afraid, or why?
Yes, most of the time the bystanders are afraid. Um, they don't want to get involved into it because they are afraid to become victims themselves, or most of the time that's the reason why they don't stand up, for another person. And we are also, we as animals, we need a kind of a leader, and most of the time, someone who is bullying is quite a strong person, so we are following the leader, actually. Yes.
So especially I'm thinking now as teenagers, we need that peer approval, and that's also common. And also as adults, we don't name it like peer belonging to a group, but we have it anyways, right?
Yes.
So
We want to belong to a group. For us, it's very important to belong to a group. So the moment you are standing up, you don't belong to the group anymore. So that can be very threatening.
Yes.
But what we know as well is that a stand-byer, if you don't take any position, an attitude, actually you are a bully yourself as well.
I always said, like, bad things happen because good people do nothing, and being silent in any violence ever, because any form of violence, it's bullying in a way or another. Sometimes it's bleeding painful, and sometimes it's subtitle, but it's violence is bullying. When we are silent to the pain and to the violence, we are part of bully, and be violent through silence. Silence can be good and can be also bad. So basically, being a bystander, it's worse than being a victim, because in my opinion, if you are a victim, you know what is wrong with you or what is going on. But if you're a bystander, you are in between. Because I've been all the time in high school and in as a child, as adult also. I could hear that. But I want to be friends with both of you. Is that possible technically, to be someone to be friend with a bully and with the victim at the same time, without picking sides, unconscious?
uh, it's the problem is not that you are friend with both of you, but you have, as a friend, we have to learn actually that um, you can educate the other one, you know, and you can tell the other one, well, I'm your friend, but I don't accept your attitude, or I don't accept your behavior
Yeah.
towards the other one.
I'm
uh,
also thinking
that's
now as
that's actually friendship. It's also about this, that you can correct each other
without being afraid that you get
without being
to be
afraid
a
that you
victim.
can, yes, that you're, because if you're pushed away on because of that, then it's not a healthy friendship.
Yes. And I'm thinking now, how many times I've heard something or seen something, and I would stand up for the other person. I would be immediately even victim. I
Hmm.
mean, threatened to become a victim or just rejected and get out of here kind of attitude. And that is true and can be scary and threatening at the same time, especially as teenagers and young adults when we form our identity. And also as mothers or staying at home moms can be also. I want to ask you something about bullying in the family, because we know it's any form. Basically, we have different kind of bullying, and let's talk about bullying in the family. We were in the subject before.
Yeah.
What can you say about that in few words? How can we spot bullying in the families? Because everything in society starts in the family, right?
Yeah. Well, bullying in the family can come from the parent to a child,
Mm-hmm.
between siblings. It's a lot of bullying. And the moment the children they get how to bully, they will bully themselves. They can also bully their parents.
Can you give some examples, like how it looks like a parent bullying his child? If I
Uh,
ask my son, he will tell me.
Yes, a parent bullying a child can through we were talking about, you know, through words like the way you are looking. You know that the parent
Hmm.
can constantly make observations about the way you are looking.
What's
That's
wrong with you,
bullying. That's
basically?
what's wrong with you, or you are looking like that, or you know you are too fat, too I don't know, too small, too long, too tall, too. There are all kind of, or you don't, you never dressed up well.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Everything you touch gets broken.
yes, and
Everything
sometimes
you
it's
do is
even
not
more
fine.
subtle, like, oh, you are always, you never like, I don't know what, you know,
Yeah,
you never
yeah.
like, but then it's not like, okay, I will take in consideration that you don't like spinach, I don't know, or
Mm-hmm.
pink color, but it's more like uh, how do you call it, reproach in Romanian language, you know.
Yeah, reproach. It's in
Yeah,
English too.
yes. When you say the other one, you never like pink.
Yeah.
I know you never like pink. You know, it's also the intonation, and it's the,
Yes.
you know, the behavior what you show. You know,
It makes you feel small and
it makes you feel
insignificant.
small, like
Yeah.
it's very wrong that you don't like pink, for
Yeah.
example.
Something is wrong with you because you don't like
Yeah,
pink.
or
Everyone
spinach
likes
or
pink.
whatever, you
Yeah.
know, it's about, it's something else to take to be to take in consideration um, the meaning, or you know what the other wants, or don't know, the needs of the other one, to
Yeah.
say, okay, I will take in consideration you don't like at this moment pink, or you don't like spinach or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
instead of you never like, oh, I know you are the one who is, you know, like the at that moment you
The
are
black
becoming the
sheep.
black sheep of the
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
Yes.
And siblings will pick on that soon.
Yes, and the everyone picks on that, especially from the
Mm-hmm.
parents, because we are depending on our parents, not
Yeah.
only physical but also emotionally and mentally. We are depending on our parents.
And we really believe them. Really
For
believe them and
sure,
take it
if we
in.
if we don't believe them, we will die. You know, because
Yeah.
we are so. dependent as animals. We are coming, as mammals, we are coming this world very much depending on our surrounding, especially on our parents or the caregivers. And if we don't listen to them, we cannot grow, we cannot develop. So we are by nature made like that, that we have to depend. So we have to look at them. We have to receive this information constantly. And the information can be, as I told you, verbally, but can emotionally, mentally, physically, how they act, the parents. Those are all informations what we need in order to perceive ourselves and perceive the world around us.
And then we grow into adults that we don't know exactly who we are, what we can do. It's so important as a parent, and
yes, and we are doubting ourselves. A lot of people, they are doubting themselves. They are finding themselves very ugly or very dumb or very, poor, especially, sometimes by the society, because you are coming from a certain family or certain group. They always say that you are poor. However, perhaps you are just, like everyone else, the rest of the street. But because you were heard that you are coming from a poor family or from a poor environment.
That was the number one reason why I was bullied by my teacher in high school, because I was coming from a poor environment and my parents did nothing significant. And and coming from a bullying environment already, it was just kind of for my identity. And now I'm learning, I have to learn as an adult that I'm not who they said I am. I am who I am, and rediscover myself basically now. So it has a lot of impact. So yes, as parents, we can bully our children, even with the tone of voice and with sarcasm. Also sarcasm.
Sarcasm and being sarcastic, and it's terrible. I mean, it's killing,
especially for children who they don't get it.
Ironical to use irony time after time after time it's very damaging.
Or critic. It's just you don't know what is good then. What am I allowed to do? Especially for children. The children cannot feel irony and sarcasm. They don't name it, but they know something is wrong.
Yes, so they internalize. That it's wrong. You feel like, and it can makes you crazy. After a while, like, am I wrong? Is something wrong with me, or it's what I see in the other person? It's right. That is bullying me or punish me for nothing, or
Yes. Yeah. And then it happens also between siblings. How that looks like among siblings, bullying.
We all need to exercise our power. How much power we have in the world, how much, and that's more in it's a difference between vertical relationships and horizontal relationships. Perhaps we'll talk another time about that. I will not go into details, but with the siblings, what you have, it's more the horizontal relationship. But still there is a hierarchy, because some kids are more strong, or are the eldest, and then you have the middle and the youngest, or they have, it's about who can easier more. Yes, and being a leader can also be. So then one can pick up on the others. It's not only about the power, obvious. Sometimes it's very obvious because the other one has more power, or it's more more there, outspoken. But also the ones who are less unspoken can tease the whole system
in silence.
Yes. In giving from time to time just a few withdrawing, not showing up. You can tease the other one a lot, and
not talking back when
not talking back. Yes.
Silence as a
stonewalling. Stonewalling is a form of
bullying.
Bullying. Yes.
And then we see that killing silence happens also among
later you can see it more in the partners. Yes, that is the same.
Killing.
Yes.
And that is bullying.
That's also a form of bullying. Yes.
Yeah. And among partners, how exactly can we name it? Okay, how do we know it's bullying? So is the killing silence, and then it's also financially. Is that possible?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. The ones that I have more power, you know, financially, I'm better than you. And then
Mhm.
you're not able to to provide. I
Mhm.
had it in my own family. I remember when my great grandfather, he was very keen on entrepreneurship and money, and he was constantly telling to his wife, to my great grandmother, that you don't provide anything.
Yeah.
There is
So
no
you
day that you
belong to
can
me.
provide something, you know.
That's so,
Yeah, and he
yeah.
was putting her down constantly on this. Well, on many ways, but this was also something you
Yes.
never provide.
And where is the limit between bullying and aggressivity? For example, when I think of partners, there is a lot of domestic violence. It's also a form of bullying, but it goes beyond that. So start as a bullying, but then it's just violence. So how do we um, name it, or do we name it different? Or
I
domestic violence goes in the bullying too?
Let me see if I think my computer, just hold on, because otherwise my computer will run
Shut
out,
up.
will bullying me.
Will bully you.
Uh, well, about violence, I think violence is also physical violence is
Mhm.
also a form of bullying for sure. Yes, and
Misuse of power. Yeah.
misuse of power constantly. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
basically, if we look, everything, even worse, even the war, it's a misuse of power. So it's
yes, yes, of
different
course,
kind
yes, yes,
level of bullying.
yes,
So,
yeah.
and why is that there is not a clear law for bullying? If we look now deep, psychological, we see that every form of violence it's bullying.
Mhm.
Why do we have a law for hitting someone as adult, and we don't have a law specific for bullying? Why it's so hard to put a finger on it?
Well, we have laws. For sure, there are laws. You're not
Mm-hmm.
allowed to hit someone. There is a law about that.
Mm-hmm.
Only I think the more the question is what is acceptable and what not, and where when you stand up for yourself and when you don't.
Well, when? Because when we look at just like global, it seems so obvious, but then when we go deep, like when there is teasing and spreading rumors, then it's so not specific and hard to prove. So what do we do when we are in the gray area, when we is not like clear something illegal according to
Hmm.
the law, but it's totally uncomfortable and you know it's bullying? What to do then as a professional?
As well,
Go to therapy first one.
as a professional, well, it depends if the people are coming. When someone is coming to me and explaining me these kind of things, sometimes the people, they don't even realize that they are bullied or that they are bullying. So it's then my duty to say, well, this is what I see, what I'm hearing here is a form of bullying, whether
Mhm.
the one is bullying or is been bully is a victim of bullying.
Yeah.
So, and then we have to look into it, and
Why? Why is that happening?
why, what
Mhm.
is the background, why, what's happening, do you realize, first of all, you have to realize, to be aware.
Mhm.
Awareness is very important. That's why education is so important,
Yes.
to educate the kids already, and the adults, of course, what means bullying.
Yeah. And that's the reason why we have this series of videos, because we need to know more. All kind of subtitle and outraging form of bullying, because we don't know what we don't know, so we cannot change.
Yes, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
then you teach someone to stand for themselves. How? Some specific advices. You realize
first
you're
of all, you
bullied.
have to realize, to
Yeah.
feel, if you are the one who is bullied, you are a victim, you have to feel somewhere there to say, no, this is not right.
Yeah.
Only when you feel it and when you know that is not right, you can do something about it. You have to name it.
Yeah.
And then you can see where your limits are. This is my
Yeah.
limit. It's not acceptable.
Yes.
I don't want to accept this.
And then
I
you look for ways to get help
Yes,
or
I can
to.
talk with you, you know. I mean, it can be also very subtle, in a subtle way. As we talk about, you know, previous in our families, and even that I have to go back, you know, we have to go back to say, okay, there is a limit. This you cannot do this, you know.
Yes.
It's my integrity, my personality, my whatever is what you are touching here, and I don't need it. I don't want it.
Yeah.
I can talk about, of course, if it's very subtle and the other one is not aware, you can talk about it for sure. Like we talk with our kids when they are doing something, you know, you can talk and to say, okay, perhaps you don't realize, but this is crossing limits. And sometimes it's okay, you know, to cross the limit because the other one is also able to stand up and to say, okay, don't, you know, and then you are learning something out of it. But when it's time after time after time and it doesn't stop, then it's a problem.
Yes, and it's so damaging. And it's damaging not just for the victim, but it's damaging also for the bully. And
yes,
also
for the one who is bullying, because it doesn't realize that it's doing this because of a need, of a void, of something inside, which is not, it's a need which is not attend to, you know.
And for the stand buyers, it's aggression. Even if they
For
don't
the
take part of it.
stand buyers can be aggression. If you are a child of parents who are, you know, aggressive, of a mother or father who is aggressive and is hitting around, you know, nobody who, I mean, it doesn't matter who.
You never know if you are the next one. Yeah.
Well, that can be, yes, of course. You don't know if you are the next. So you are learning already, you know, to be very afraid, and you are learning also how to deal with some things in a very aggressive way.
Yes. And also, I'm thinking now as teenagers and adults, if you see your friend getting bullied, even if you choose to stay away, to not get involved, you are involved just because it's your friend. So you cannot just detach yourself all of the sudden. It will stay in your brain. And every time you see happening, even if you laugh and be in the bully part, it's still aggression. And that's, I want to say that because I've seen, I've been there when someone was bullied, and also I've been bullied, and I know that there is aggression. And after years, I have classmates, after years, one of my classmates told me, you know, I'm so sorry that I couldn't say anything back then. And we were 7. And I just heard last year, it's years of reminding the same. It's a trauma, basically, even for the stand buyers.
Yes, for sure, it's a trauma. Yeah. So also the ones who are the stand buyers, the bystanders. I'm sorry, the bystanders. I was real.
Bystanders would be the right one, that we use the different one. Okay. We speak 3 languages.
They're also the ones who are bullying the moment they don't take, you know, attitude and they are don't doing something about it.
Yeah. So it's painful in every way. And the main reason why we speak about it is because we want to educate people on any level. If you are a child and you listen to this, just listen and ask your parents. If you are a teenager, if you are adult, just listen and go through the entire series of videos, because the main purpose of this educational series is to teach you that you are not alone if you are a victim, that you need help if you are a bully and you don't know how to stop yourself. You know that is right, but you don't know basically how to stop yourself. And know that as a bystander, you are traumatized too, so you need to ask for help.
For sure.
That's the main reason, and thank you, Dana, for being here again and educating us. And we are going to have you back, because as we see today, bullying, it's not just in the family, it's going in schools, at work, in the neighborhood, it's everywhere. So hopefully we can touch all those areas soon. And thank you for blessing us again with your wisdom.
You are welcome.
If you're new here and you didn't subscribe yet, subscribe, because every single Friday there is a new video coming up. See you next week.